Hey, good morning. Sean, this is Kim Mitchell. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Thank you.
The camera's pointing at an empty hearing room, though, just in case you didn't know that.
Yep. Thank you. I'll get it changed.
Okay.
Sean, how does that look of the chair?
Looks good.
All right, I'm going to get her to do a test audio real quick.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right. Good morning, everyone. Before we go on the record, I just want to let you all know we are trying out our new system this morning in the hearing room. So if there are any technical glitches along the way, please just bear with us. We apologize as we make our inaugural run here. Let's go to order, please, ma'am, and go on the record. I'm Charlotte Mitchell, Chair of the Utilities Commission. With me this morning are the following commissioners. Would you please announce your presence when I call your name? Commissioner Tanola D. Brown Bland.
I'm present.
Commissioner Lyons Gray.
Present.
Commissioner Daniel G. Clodfelter.
Yes, good morning.
Commissioner Kimberly Duffley,
Good morning.
Commissioner Jeffrey Hughes,
Good morning, I'm here.
and Commissioner Floyd McKissick Jr.
Present.
All right, in compliance with the State Government Ethics Act, I remind members of the commission of their duty to avoid conflicts of interest and inquire as to whether any member of the commission has a known conflict of interest with respect to any matters coming before us this morning. All right, hearing none, we will proceed with public staff, natural gas, item P1. Ms. Perry, I believe we are with you.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. I'm Julie Perry with the Public Staff Accounting Division. Item P1 is docket number G5, sub 585. On August 5th, 2020, Public Service Company filed a petition requesting that the Commission issue an order waiving the transfer pricing guideline in Section 3D3A of PSNC's Code of Conduct. The waiver would allow the company to lease space to Dominion Energy Southeast Services and Dominion Energy Services at PSNC's fully distributed cost instead of at the higher of market value or fully distributed cost as defined in the Code of Conduct. The public staff has reviewed the proposed lease agreements and the Code of Conduct waiver request, as well as all the other documents filed in this docket, and believes that the proposed lease agreements are in the public interest and recommends that, subject to the conditions described herein, the public staff's proposed order be issued granting the waiver request. A copy of the proposed order is attached as exhibit number P1. I did want to mention we had one small error correction to the order, and we're going to email the commission this morning a revised copy.
All right, move approval of the recommendation.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Brown Bland that the recommendation of the public staff be approved, and that motion has been seconded by Commissioner Gray. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none.
Commissioner McKissick.
Sure. It was just one quick question. That was this. I was just curious, when we have these type of interested party transactions, do we ever get in letters or something that document the actual fair market value of the space that's being leased so that you know whether it's the greater of, I guess, what that fair market value would be versus the fully distributed cost?
So, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying informationally, it seems like there's a void because you don't know really which it is.
Yes, sir. I think you had some questions that you posed to the company on this in this docket. We did not do a market study and they did not either. But typically when we're doing a utility to utility customers, we typically try to do it at fully distributed cost because it's fair to ratepayers that way. I think when you go to the market, it's typically going to be higher than this cost-based rate. And so we believe that this was fair because Public Service is ultimately providing services to two utility affiliates. So we did not look at a market study in this case, but they're doing it on a square foot type basis. And so it seems like it's reasonable and we feel like it's in the public interest.
Yeah, one quick follow-up, and that's simply that. I mean, the way it seems to be written, it tends to say that it's going to be one or the other. And I don't have any problem with the recommendation that's come forth. You always want it to be reasonable, but since the language is structured in a way where it seems that you're supposed to be looking at both, it would seem that would be a missing piece of information.
Yeah, it somewhat is, but if you look at it this way, if it was we could do the same contract between Public Service Company and Ohio, or we could do Public Service Company in Southeast. Let's see, Dominion Energy South Carolina, which used to be the SCNG, which is a utility. So if we've done a utility to utility agreement, the default would be fully distributed cost. There wouldn't even be a higher than or less than type scenario. So I think what we were looking at in this case was that they were both going to be ultimately serving two utility affiliates. So in the end, we would have just opted for the fully distributed cost and not even looked at market. Does that make sense?
It does, and I understand, and that does make more sense. I just saw the language saying you look at both, so that's why I raised the question in my mind.
Yes, sir, and I think it's more because they're service companies, and so they're non-regulated affiliates, okay? And so that's where the market price comes in, but we feel like with the conditions we put in, we can actually audit and trace these charges directly to the utility that's being charged from Public Service. And so therefore, we believe that it was better just to go with the fully distributed cost method.
Thank you for that explanation. That helps a great deal.
Thanks.
All right, thank you, Commissioner McKissick. Any additional questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, I will call the roll for a vote. Indicate your support for the motion by saying aye, your opposition by saying no. Commissioner Brown Bland,
Aye.
Commissioner Gray,
Aye.
Commissioner Clodfelter,
Aye.
Commissioner Duffley,
Aye.
Commissioner Hughes,
Aye.
and Commissioner McKissick.
Aye.
All right, for the record, I support the motion as well, and the motion passes. All right, thank you, Ms. Perry. We will now move to Public Staff Communications, item P1.
Good morning. My name is Karen Profit. Item P1 presents interconnection agreement amendments filed by AT&T between July 23rd and August 27th. The public staff has reviewed these filings and recommends that orders be issued approving the amendments effective on the date they were filed. Public staff has provided the proposed orders to the commission staff.
Move approval of the recommendation.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Brown Bland that the recommendation of the public staff be approved, with a second on that motion by Commissioner Gray. Any questions or discussion? All right, I will call the roll for a vote. Commissioner Brown Bland,
Aye.
Commissioner Gray,
Aye.
Commissioner Clodfelter,
Aye.
Commissioner Duffley,
Aye.
Commissioner Hughes,
Aye.
Commissioner McKissick.
Aye.
And for the record, I support the motion as well, and the motion passes. All right, thank you, Ms. Profit. We will now move to Public Staff Electric item P1.
Good morning. I'm Evan Lawrence with the Public Staff's Energy Division. Electric item P1 consists of applications for certificates of public convenience and necessity and an amendment of a CPCN, and registrations for new renewable energy facilities for solar PV generating facilities. The public staff recommends that the commission issue the certificates and accept the registration statements.
Move approval.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion from Commissioner Gray that the recommendation of the public staff be approved, with a second by Commissioner Duffley. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, I will call the roll for a vote. Commissioner Brown Bland,
Aye.
Commissioner Gray,
Aye.
Commissioner Clodfelter,
Aye.
Commissioner Duffley,
Aye.
Commissioner Hughes,
Aye.
Commissioner McKissick.
Aye.
And for the record, I support the motion as well, and the motion carries. All right, thank you, Mr. Lawrence. We will move to Public Staff Electric item P2 with Mr. David Williamson.
Good morning. My name is David Williamson with the Energy Division. If it's okay, I'd like to combine items 2 and 4, and then also items 3 and 5, since they cover identical programs in request.
All right, Mr. Williamson, you may do so, and you may proceed.
Okay. Items P2 and P4 are filings made by Duke Energy Progress and Duke Energy Carolinas, respectively, for approval to modify their residential service load control rider program and residential power manager load control rider program. This request is being made to recognize the need for more winter load control. Both of the applications state they will be suspending new enrollments for their summer option DSM and will be offering a higher one-time incentive of $90 for the remainder of 2020 to encourage enrollment in the proposed winter option before the incentive goes back to $75. These modifications address the need for more winter-related DSM and appear to be cost-effective and in the public interest. The public staff is interested in the monitoring of winter DSM and requests that the commission require both companies to include in their upcoming DSM and EU rider filings a discussion of the future potential for winter DSM program, as well as the performance of these programs through the upcoming winter season, including the acceptance of the winter events by customers the number of activations, and the number of de-enrollments. Based on our review of the filing and data provided by both DEP and DEC, the public staff recommends the commission issue our proposed orders approving these modifications.
Move approval of the recommendation for items P2 and P4.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Brown Bland that the recommendation of the public staff as to items P2 and P4 be approved, with a second by Commissioner Gray. Any questions or discussion?
Madam Chair?
Mr. McKissick, Commissioner McKissick, you may proceed.
Sure. Absolutely. I was just wondering, since this is a one-time incentive to increase it up to $90 and then it goes back down to $75, how are they going to make consumers aware that this program is available? I mean, and do it in a way that it's likely to increase the enrollment of the number of new winter participants? Because winter is upon us almost.
Yes. So the company was filing this program modification, I think it was in September or late August, in hopes to get it approved a little as quickly as possible so that they could begin as marketing as quickly as possible. They're introducing this higher incentive to add an additional incentive for these customers to pay for this upcoming winter season. Some additional marketing tools that could be provided. I believe there might be some company personnel that would be able to explain a little bit further about what they're doing right now.
Okay.
All right, is there anyone from the company that is available? Anyone from the company available to address Commissioner McKissick's question?
Chair Mitchell, it's Commissioner Duffley. If I may interject, I'm looking at the participant screen and Kendrick Fentress has her hand raised.
All right, Ms. Fentress, you may proceed.
Can't hear her.
No, can't hear her.
All right, Mr. Warren, you may need to ensure that Ms. Fentress has the ability to participate and for us to hear her. I'm not sure if she's on mute.
Here she goes.
Thank you. I was pushing all the buttons. I apologize for that. Yes, Commissioner McKissick, whenever we file one of our DSM and EE programs, we inform the public staff, and of course it's publicly available as well, how we will market programs. We typically market programs, and in addition to the increased incentive in this program, we typically market through newsletters, through emails, through large account managers, and we will have a robust marketing plan in order to attract as many participants as we can. We certainly share your concern that winter is coming, and we want to encourage participants to join this program as much as we can.
Thank you. That helps. I was just curious because of the limited timeline. I guess didn't know what it was going to consist of, but it sounds like you're prepared to get out there and do it. Notwithstanding the shortness of the time frame. So thank you for that explanation. I appreciate it.
Certainly, and just as an addition, we will agree with the public staff's recommendations about reporting on all of this in our next DSM EE rider filing, as we want to keep the commission informed on all of the winter-focused DSM and EE programs we are looking at this time. Thank you.
Ms. Fentress, before we lose you, I'd like to ask you one question.
Certainly.
Just looking at the anticipated, I think it's a 5-year anticipated number of participants in the programs in each of the service territories. There are significantly more anticipated to participate on the DEC side than the DEP side. First of all, do I understand that correctly? And second of all, can you help us understand why that is? There can be a simple answer, but would you just let us know what it is?
I am not sure, other than just our typical allocation, projections with respect to EE and DSM. I'm happy to get the commission an answer on that. I don't know if Bob Evans is on the line. I'm unable to see on my phone. If he is on the line, he may have a direct answer for that.
Okay, well, just in the interest of sort of moving along here, we will track that information down at a later time.
Madam Chair, to Commissioner Brown Bland here, Mr. Evans is on the attendee list, so he could be promoted up if you wish.
All right, well, Mr. Evans, it looks like you're on the hot seat. Mr. Warren, could you please assist Mr. Evans become a participant so that he can respond to the question?
There he is.
Okay, there he is. Repeat the question again, please.
All right, good morning, Mr. Evans. My question was, looking at the 5-year projected participant numbers for each of these programs, they're significantly more on the DEC side than on the DEP side. Just want to make sure I understood the program applications correctly, and if I did, why that is the case.
Oh, there are two reasons for that, Chair Mitchell. First of all, DEC has more customers than DEP, residential customers that would fit into the group. Also, there was a slight difference. What you see participation is actually KW savings, and they are a little bit higher on the DEC side than they are on the DEP side. So you have those two factors involved.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Evans. All right, any additional questions or discussion?
Chair Mitchell, I have something.
All right, Commissioner Hughes, you may proceed.
Yes, could one of the representatives speak to the relationship between the current summer program and the winter program? It wasn't clear to me. It was clear that you couldn't have both, but are you envisioning trying to convert the summer to winter in some way? And if not, then why wouldn't you be able to have both?
Is someone on mute?
Mute? Here we go. Again, my apologies, commissioners. Commissioner Hughes, would you repeat your question again once more? I've had a little technical difficulty on my end. I apologize.
Sure. From what I understand, that a customer would not be able to be enrolled in both the winter and summer DSM program. First off, I was curious why that was the case, and if you were trying to convert people from the summer to the winter program, was that going to be part of the marketing where you actually try to convert summer participants to winter participants?
Not at this time. We are currently exclusively looking at new participants as opposed to summer participants. The Winter Focus program also allows 15 hours of summer interruption. And so what you have is you have an overlap between the summer and the Winter Focus program. That's what we call the Winter Focus because part of it is the summer. So you're looking at both time periods or both periods, both annual seasons.
Okay, will there be an effort to try to convert summer participants over to winter participants, and would they be eligible for a new one-time incentive?
Not at this time. Customers have to remain on the program for 1 year in order to avoid having to, in order to get an additional incentive. So if customers are at that point in time willing to do so, they would get that additional incentive, but not within that 1 year window. And most participants on the program have not been on it for 1 year at this point in time. And so that's another reason why we're not actively recruiting. But also we have to maintain our summer base load control as well. So this is something new. Maybe as time goes along, we will want to get or make an effort to shift customers that are on the summer-only program to the winter focus program. But that is not envisioned at this point in time, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any additional questions, discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll call the roll for a vote. Commissioner Brown Bland,
Aye.
Commissioner Gray,
Aye.
Commissioner Clodfelter,
Aye.
Commissioner Duffley,
Aye.
Commissioner Hughes,
Aye.
Commissioner McKissick.
Aye.
For the record, I support the motion as well, and the motion carries. All right, Mr. Williamson, we will proceed to public staff electric items P3 and P5.
Thank you. Items P3 and P5 are filings made by Duke Energy Progress and Duke Energy Carolinas, respectively, for approval to modify their small business energy saver programs. These proposed modifications will allow the expansion of the current load requirements of the program to allow participation to all non-residential customers. Both companies are also proposing to add a new Smart Path option for participants with a demand of 180 kW or greater, which will give participants access to the company's authorized trade ally group to conduct more custom-oriented energy assessments. This program, if expanded, will be renamed the Business Energy Savings Program. Based on our review of the filing and data provided by both DEP and DEC, the public staff recommends that the Commission issue our proposed orders approving these program modifications.
Move approval of recommendation for items P3 and P5.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Brown Bland that the recommendation of the public staff be approved as to public staff electric items P3 and P5, with a second by Commissioner Gray. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll call the roll for a vote. Commissioner Brown Bland,
Aye.
Commissioner Gray,
Aye.
Commissioner Clodfelter,
Aye.
Commissioner Duffley,
Aye.
Commissioner Hughes,
Aye.
Commissioner McKissick.
Aye.
And for the record, I support the motion as well, and the motion carries. All right, thank you, Mr. Williamson. We will now proceed to public staff water item P1. Mr. Furr, I believe we're with you.
Good morning. This is Gina Castleberry with the Water Division. I believe I had this item.
All right, good morning, Ms. Castleberry. I apologize.
No problem. P1 is docket number W1274 sub 8. On September 2nd, 2020, Lake Junaluska Assembly Incorporated filed a letter with the Commission requesting authority to amend its tariff for the purpose of passing along to water and sewer customers in its Lake Junaluska Assembly service area in Haywood County an increase in the cost of purchasing bulk water and sewer treatment service from the town of Waynesville. The public staff has reviewed the current rates for water service and recommends that LJA be allowed to increase its usage charge for metered water service by 7 cents per 100 cubic feet, increasing the rate from $2.54 per 100 cubic feet to $2.61 per 100 cubic feet, and increasing its usage charge for metered water only by 41 cents from $5.95 per 100 cubic feet to $6.36 per 100 cubic feet. LJA provides sewer service to metered sewer customers and flat rate sewer customers. Increasing the usage charge only would have no effect on the flat rate customers, leaving metered customers to bear the full impact of the increase in the cost of sewer treatment. Therefore, the public staff has used the rate design in LJA's last general rate case, docket number W1274 sub 7, and adjusted the rates to reflect an increase of $21,694 in revenue for purchased sewer treatment. LJA's current rates and the public staff's recommended rates for sewer service are shown on the agenda item. The company agrees with the public staff's recommended rates. The public staff agrees with the commission staff's suggested changes and recommends that the revised proposed order be issued approving the recommended tariff revision.
Move approval of this recommendation.
I'll second.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Brown Bland that the recommendation of the public staff be approved with a second by Commissioner Gray. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll call the roll for a vote. Commissioner Brown Bland.
Aye.
Commissioner Gray.
Aye.
Commissioner Clodfelter.
Aye.
Commissioner Duffley.
Aye.
Commissioner Hughes.
Aye.
Commissioner McKissick.
Aye.
And for the record, I support the motion as well, and the motion carries. All right, thank you, Ms. Castleberry. All right, the commission has its minutes of September 28th, 2020.
Move approval of the minutes.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion from Commissioner Brown Bland that our minutes of September 28, 2020 be approved with a second by Commissioner Gray. Any questions or discussion on the minutes? All right, all in favor of approval of the minutes indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, and our minutes of September 28th, 2020 are approved. Any additional business for the commission this morning?
Yes, Madam Chair. Our staff has been in touch with public staff. They're aware that I was requesting that they provide us a status report or indicate what they know about the situation down in the Currituck area where there was sewer backup in several homes in the Eagle Creek subdivision. So I believe, I'm not sure who has drawn the honors, but I believe they're prepared to discuss it this morning.
David Furr here, Public Staff Water and Sewer.
All right, Mr. Furr, you may proceed.
Okay. As Commissioner Brown Bland stated, that we have a sewer system down in Moyock, North Carolina, that has a vacuum collection system, which is kind of a unique collection system. To the best of my knowledge, it's the only one regulated by the commission. The system went down. This is about a week and a half ago. We became aware of it, customers calling, and we facilitated some communications to make sure that the utility was aware. They have a contract operator. They have got boots on the ground. Department of Environmental Quality was involved. We got boots on the ground. They have some expertise in these vacuum systems. They also got some outside help from a company that is familiar with these systems. What happened, my understanding, is a transfer pump from the vacuum system to the treatment plant went down, which caused the vacuum pumps to go down, and then it was a cascading effect on back into the sewer collection system. At this time, everything is up and running. My understanding is, as of the update, we've been getting regular daily updates through DEQ that the system is pretty much up and running. 98% of the houses are probably online. The few that are not, they're waiting on controllers at the individual, they call them pots, is where the sewage first goes when it comes out of the house, and this controller is at that location. And they were supposed to have the additional controllers coming in today, and they hope to have those last few customers connected shortly. That's the current status that we're aware of.
Thank you, Mr. Furr. So from the public staff's point of view, will the public staff do further investigation of this matter, or you're satisfied you know how it occurred and the reasons why?
I'm sure we will be looking more into it. At this point, we've let DEQ take the lead on it, but we will be looking into it further. At this point, we weren't going to be providing much expertise to get the customers up and running, which was the most important thing at the time. But we will be looking further.
Mr. Furr, did the customers make, or somebody or the regulated entity make contact with the public staff about this? How the public staff learned about it?
I think the first that we learned about it was from some customers. They were contacting here, our consumer services division. And then apparently they were having some trouble getting in touch with the utility, and we facilitated communications with the utility. One of my staff talked with them. They made sure they were aware of the situation and they were on the job. That was how we became aware of it.
And so I may have not been completely clear on what you told us, but they're up and running now. They have water back in their homes. Is the work that needs to be done ongoing and continuing?
It is ongoing. Some of these transfer pumps, there's my understanding is there's an additional pump on order. There's going to be a backlog of some time to get what they need to get the systems in solid condition again. My understanding is there's someone on site 24/7 at this time.
All right. Thank you.
Well.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Furr. Any additional questions from the commission for Mr. Furr?
Chair, one question.
All right, Commissioner McKissick.
Sure. How long do they anticipate it will take to permanently resolve the situation so that it doesn't continue to be an ongoing problem?
Well, my understanding, the lead time for some of these pumps they're getting in is several weeks. But again, they have pumps operating, they have some contingency plans if that pump goes down. Even during the emergency, they had pump trucks doing some pump and haul.
I see.
There's this collection system again is pretty much always a fragile system. When something goes down, there's usually some kind of a cascading effect. But I think they have learned a lot from the people they brought in from outside the company. Has come to help them, has helped them a lot with operation of the system. But I can't give you an exact time they're going to have everything tied down, but I'm satisfied they're doing what they can.
Okay, thank you. I was just curious. I mean, I read about it, heard about it from several sources, so I assume that those that have been impacted will continue to reach out as a result of the concern. So I appreciate the update. And thank you, Commissioner Brown Bland, for arranging for the report today. Thank you.
All right. Anything further for Mr. Furr?
I have something I can add to that.
All right, Ms. Profit.
I've been in touch with I think I was one of the initial people that was here when they called in about a week or so ago. And one of the things I've been reading about in their daily updates is it appears that they may be replacing, it had something to do with the stormwater. When the stormwater backs up in the drains, it somehow impacted the valves or something in the equipment. And I understand that there may be some equipment on order that's going to prevent the stormwater from impacting the equipment in the future. I do believe they're trying to do something to upgrade, but my understanding of the system is a little bit limited on that. So I just wanted to add that it did seem like they had intent to try to make a correction to the problem that seemed to be reoccurring.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Profit. That's helpful. All right. Anything further on this item? All right, any additional business for the commission this morning? All right, hearing none, we will be adjourned and we will go back on, we will hold our executive conference beginning at 10:40. Thank you very much.